The world of love and hip-hop just imploded overnight. What started as whispers in studio corridors has now turned into the most explosive scandal the franchise has ever seen. Kirk Frost's husband, businessman, reality TV veteran, has been caught cheating again. And this time it wasn't just a rumor. According to insiders, shocking receipts surfaced linking him to another cast member. And the fallout has pushed Rasheeda to her breaking point. Fans are calling it the betrayal that broke the internet. Behind closed doors, producers are in crisis mode. The cast is taking sides, and Rasheeda, she's gone viral after an emotional on-set breakdown that left even the camera crew speechless. This wasn't part of the script. This was heartbreak caught live. Sources say it all began when Mendici stormed into a cast dinner with proof, real, time-stamped messages showing Kirk's secret affair with someone inside their own circle. Within hours, clips from that confrontation leaked online. Phones out, cameras rolling, gasps echoing. Rasheeda's face when she saw those texts. It's already being called the moment that ended Love and Hip Hop Atlanta as we knew it. Now the internet's in chaos. Is this a publicity stunt to revive the franchise, or the moment Kirk finally destroyed the empire he and Rasheeda built together? Fans are demanding answers. Bloggers are digging for names. Even Mona Scott Young herself has stepped in, calling this the most real moment in franchise history. But here's where things get even crazier. The woman allegedly involved isn't denying it. And Kirk. Silent. No statements. No posts. No apologies. Just silence, and that silence is louder than any confession. Stay right here, because we're about to break down exactly what happened inside that dinner, what Rasheeda said before walking off set, and how this scandal could change the show forever. When love turns into betrayal on national TV, the whole world watches. And this time, nobody's walking away clean. When it comes to Kirk and Rasheeda Frost, their love story has always been one built in public view. Messy, magnetic, and maddeningly addictive. They were the power couple that gave Love and Hip Hop Atlanta its heart. Two hustlers turned moguls, balancing fame, family, and fidelity under the harshest spotlight imaginable. But behind the designer clothes, the joint businesses, and the smiling Instagram selfies, something darker was always lurking. A storm that had been building quietly for years. To understand how this all exploded, you've got to go back to the roots of their empire. Before reality TV and viral drama, Kirk Frost was an industry veteran. A quiet but ambitious player in Atlanta's music scene, he managed artists, secured publishing deals, and had built a reputation for being sharp, strategic, and at times ruthless. Then came Rasheeda, a rising rap star with undeniable charisma and hustle. When they met, it was instant chemistry, but also an instant power shift. She wasn't just another artist under his wing. She was his equal, his partner, and eventually his wife. Together, they built something fans could admire until the cracks began to show. Their dynamic was always complicated. Rasheeda was the creative, fiery, expressive, emotional. Kirk was the businessman, calculating, guarded, and always trying to stay one step ahead. For a while, that balance worked. But Love and Hip Hop had a way of turning every relationship into a spectacle. And when Kirk's first cheating scandal hit years ago, it almost ended everything. The infamous Jasmine Washington situation, complete with a secret baby, a DNA test, and public humiliation, nearly destroyed their marriage. The world watched Rasheeda cry on national TV, watched her heartbreak in real time, and somehow watched her forgive him. That forgiveness became her brand. Fans praised her strength, but others said she was too loyal for her own good. She rebuilt the image, the business, the family, convincing herself that they had moved past it. And for a while, it looked like they had. They opened new stores, launched a clothing line, took family trips, and shared behind-the-scenes footage of their healed marriage. But those who knew them best said the trust never fully returned. It was patched, not repaired. Meanwhile, Kirk was trying hard to play the perfect husband, but whispers never stopped. Small things, late-night calls, unaccounted trips, work meetings that didn't add up. Rasheeda's friends noticed first. Yandy Smith, a longtime ally in the love and hip-hop circle, reportedly pulled her aside months ago, asking if everything was really as good as it looked. Rasheeda brushed it off. "We're good," she said. "We've been through worse." But privately, she wasn't so sure. Then came the new season, the one producers promised would show growth. Cameras rolled as the Frost family appeared stronger than ever. But insiders say tensions on set were already boiling. Kirk had been spotted spending extra time with one of the new female cast members, a singer and influencer who had recently joined the show. At first, people thought it was professional. They were filming scenes together, working on music, normal stuff. Until one night at a private after-party, a photo surfaced. It wasn't explicit, but it was intimate enough to raise eyebrows. Kirk and the mystery woman standing close. Heads leaned together, smiling like people with something to hide. Production tried to downplay it. Mona Scott Young herself reportedly told staff, "Keep the focus on business storylines." But fans noticed. Kirk looking a little too comfortable. One user tweeted after footage leaked of the two talking off-camera. And when Mendices, known for being blunt and loyal to a fault, walked into that cast dinner clutching his phone, everyone knew something serious was about to unfold, according to multiple sources. Mendices had been sent screenshots, texts that allegedly came from Kirk's own number. They weren't innocent. They were late-night messages filled with emojis, pet names, and even private details that only two people in a secret relationship would share. The woman's name wasn't immediately visible, but insiders claimed it matched someone in the cast roster. And the timestamps. Within the last month of filming, that's when everything shifted. Kirk's calm facade began to crack. Crew members noticed he was unusually on edge. Rasheeda seemed distracted on set, her smile forced. Even their joint interviews felt strained, awkward pauses, forced laughter, and long glances that said more than words ever could. Behind the scenes, producers debated whether to intervene. They'd seen countless reality TV couples implode before, but this was different. Kirk and Rasheeda weren't just stars. They were anchors of the franchise. If they fell apart again, this time for real, it would send shockwaves through the entire production. But the truth doesn't care about contracts or ratings. It always finds a way out. By the time that infamous dinner rolled around, everyone could feel the tension. Mendices wasn't there to stir up gossip. He was there to drop a bomb. And when he confronted Kirk in front of everyone with Rasheeda sitting right there, it wasn't just a scene. It was a reckoning. Now, in the aftermath, fans are rewatching old episodes, dissecting every glance, every laugh, every suspicious absence. The internet is flooded with side-by-side clips comparing old interviews where Rasheeda defended Kirk's loyalty to new footage where she looks broken and distant. And the wildest part, neither Kirk nor the alleged cast member has denied a thing. Their silence is feeding the frenzy. What we're witnessing now isn't just a storyline. It's the unraveling of an empire built on the illusion of redemption. Kirk promised he'd changed. Rasheeda believed him. And the fans, they wanted to believe too. But as the smoke clears, it's becoming clear that this wasn't a relapse. It was a pattern. And this time, the cameras caught it all. The night everything fell apart started like any other love and hip-hop event. Champagne flutes, flashing cameras, and the cast pretending the tension wasn't thicker than the Atlanta humidity. The producers had planned a calm mid-season dinner to celebrate the success of the new season. What they got instead was a meltdown so raw it made history. Mendices, who had been pacing outside minutes before, finally walked into the restaurant with that quiet, dangerous calm that meant he wasn't coming to talk, he was coming to end someone's facade. Yandy followed behind him, nervous, phone in hand, whispering, "Please, baby, don't do this on camera." But it was too late. The camera crew was already rolling. Across the room, Kirk Frost sat next to Rasheeda, all smiles, charming the producers, sipping his drink like a man whose world wasn't seconds from imploding. He leaned in, cracked a joke, kissed Rasheeda's cheek. The kind of performative affection that cameras love but wives know is hollow. Mendeces walked straight toward them, eyes locked on Kirk like a laser. "You got something you want to tell your wife, bro?" The room froze. Forks clattered. Conversations died mid-sentence. Kirk smirked, trying to brush it off. "What's this about, man? You good?" "I'm good." Kirk's face went pale, then defensive. "You don't know what you're looking at." "That's fake." Mendeces barked out a laugh. "Fake? You think I don't know your number? It's been the same since before Love and Hip Hop. These ain't AI texts, man." "You've been sloppy." Rasheeda turned slowly toward Kirk. Her eyes, those same eyes that had forgiven him once before, were filled with disbelief and exhaustion. "Tell me this isn't real," she said quietly. "Please tell me this isn't real again." Kirk stood up, tried to grab her hand, but she pulled away. "You think I'd risk everything for some mess like this?" He snapped, his voice rising. "People trying to tear us down again. You really gonna believe this after everything we built?" But the more he talked, the guiltier he sounded. Mendeces leaned back, shaking his head. "Bro, this ain't about people trying to tear you down. This is you doing the tearing." And that's when Tasha spoke. Her voice cracked, but her words hit harder than anything yet. "It's true. You could have heard a pin drop. Every camera zoomed in." Rasheeda's hand flew to her mouth. Kirk froze. "What?" He said, like maybe if he asked again, it would change reality. Tasha looked around the table, tears spilling down her cheeks. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this. It started during the promo tour. He said things were over between them. He said they were separated." Rasheeda pushed back her chair so hard it screeched against the floor. "Separated," she shouted. "We renewed our vows on national TV." Kirk stepped forward, reaching for her again, but she backed away, shaking. "Don't touch me," she hissed. "You promised me after Jasmine. You promised me that was the last time you'd humiliate me like this." He tried to speak, but Rasheeda wasn't done. Her voice rose, trembling but fierce. "I've been your wife, your business partner, your PR team, your everything. I built Frost Bistro with you. I defended you when the whole world said you were trash. And this is how you repay me." With another cast member. Kirk's silence was his confession. He looked down, hands in his pockets. Every inch of his confidence evaporated. Yandi moved toward Rasheeda, whispering, "Let's go, sis. You don't need to do this here." But Rasheeda wasn't leaving. "Not yet, no," she said, voice steadying. "He did this in public. So let him feel it in public." She turned to the cameras, tears glistening but controlled. "You all want reality TV. This is reality. A woman breaking because she believed her husband when he said he'd changed." The crew was silent. The producers didn't dare cut. Mona Scotchyoung herself reportedly whispered, "Keep rolling." Then, from the back of the room, Scrappy's voice cut through the tension. "Yo, Kirk. Tell me this ain't true, man." Kirk didn't answer. Scrappy muttered, "Damn, bro," under his breath. "You really just blew up the whole Frost empire." Rasheeda grabbed her purse and walked out. Her mic still live, catching every raw word she whispered as she left. "I should have never given him another chance. That man don't know what loyalty is." Outside, she broke. Not screaming, not throwing things, just silent tears as she leaned against her car. Inside, the cast sat stunned. Mendeces dropped his phone on the table, Tasha cried quietly, and Kirk sat down, face buried in his hands. The next morning, the footage leaked. Not officially, but enough to break the internet. Fans flooded Twitter and Instagram with hashtags, like hashtag Kirk cheated again, hashtag poor Rasheeda, and hashtag Frost Scandal 225.RASHEEA trended for 48 hours straight. Memes, reactions, even celebrity comments flooded her feed. Cardi B posted a subtle tweet. "A woman can forgive once, but not twice. Trust me." Meanwhile, Kirk stayed offline. No statements, no apologies, just silence. And that silence spoke volumes. Now, fans are asking, Was this the moment Rasheeda finally broke free? Or is this just another chapter in a toxic cycle that keeps repeating because the cameras keep rolling? What no one expected, though, was that this wasn't even the end of the drama. It was just the beginning. Because what happened after that dinner made everything before it look tame. After that explosive dinner confrontation, the entire Love and Hip Hop Atlanta set descended into pure chaos. What was supposed to be a celebration turned into an open wound that refused to close, and the world was watching every second of it. The next morning, TMZ broke the headline. Kirk Frost cheating scandal erupts. On set, Rasheeda walks out in tears. Within hours, gossip, blogs, YouTube channels, and TikTok creators were dissecting every word, every frame, every gesture from the leaked footage. Fans replayed the moment Rasheeda's hand trembled as she saw those texts. The second Tasha admitted, "It's true," and the way Kirk looked at the floor like he'd already accepted defeat. But what no one saw coming was the second leaked dot. Just 2 days later, a video surfaced that blew the entire scandal wide open. The clip showed Kirk and Tasha sitting in a parked car outside a music studio, time-stamped just 3 weeks before filming began. The dashcam from a nearby vehicle caught them arguing quietly at first, then kissing. It wasn't speculation anymore. It was visual proof. The internet exploded. Fans flooded Rasheeda's social media with messages of love and anger. "Leave him" became the top comment on every post she'd ever made. Even celebrities weighed in. Tokyo Vanity wrote on Instagram Live, "Sis held him down for decades. If she don't walk this time, she's walking over her own worth." And Spice posted a cryptic tweet that read, "Some men only change when they lose everything they thought they owned." But while the world was comforting Rasheeda, the real shock was happening behind the cameras. Production insiders leaked that this wasn't Kirk's only secret. A crew member claimed Kirk had been seeing another woman, not Tasha, someone from within the production team itself. The rumors spread fast, faster than any official press statement could contain. Suddenly, it wasn't just a cheating scandal. It was a cover-up that allegedly involved someone on payroll helping to keep Kirk's infidelity quiet to protect the show's image. When Mona Scott Young found out, she reportedly called an emergency meeting. Cast members were told to hand over their phones. NDAs were reinforced. "If this gets bigger, we all lose," one producer allegedly told them. But the damage was already out in the wild, and Rasheeda had reached her breaking point. The next time cameras rolled, Rasheeda walked onto set wearing all black, her face emotionless. She sat down, removed her wedding ring, placed it on the table in front of Kirk. The air was dead silent. "You lied to me in my own house, on camera, and to my face. You made me look like a fool again." Kirk tried to speak, but Rasheeda cut him off. "You made promises in church, Kirk. Promises to me, to our kids, to God. But you keep choosing yourself, and I can't keep being the one holding this broken glass together." Kirk looked shattered. For the first time in years, he didn't have a comeback. "Rasheeda, I love you," he said weakly. Rasheeda stared straight into his eyes. "You love attention. You love control. But you don't love me, not the way I deserve." The cameras kept rolling as she stood, her chair scraping against the floor. The ring glimmered under the lights. "I'm done," she whispered, and walked off set. Social media caught fire instantly. Clips of her walking away racked up millions of views within hours. Fans called it the most powerful moment in Love and Hip Hop history. VH1's official account even reposted a still frame of Rasheeda's ring on the table with the caption, "The end of an era." But the real twist came the next day when Mendices posted a cryptic story. "When you play dirty, the dirt don't stay buried forever." Minutes later, he uploaded another image, a blurred screenshot of text messages labeled crew receipts. Fans immediately connected the dots. Was there another woman involved? Did production know? Then, in a shocking turn, a Love and Hip Hop staff member and assistant editor was allegedly fired after being accused of leaking footage to the press. Some fans believe she might be the second woman Tasha mentioned. Others think she's just the scapegoat. Either way, this story had evolved from a cheating scandal to an all-out civil war inside the franchise. Behind closed doors, cast members were split. Some defended Rasheeda. Others whispered that she'd known for months and was just using the reveal to renegotiate her contract. The toxicity ran so deep that production had to hire new security for on-set filming. Then the shocking reveal that no one saw coming hit like a thunderclap. A voice recording leaked online. In it, Kirk can allegedly be heard arguing with someone off-camera believed to be Tasha, saying, "You weren't supposed to tell her. We had an agreement. Now you've ruined everything." The audio ends with a door slamming and Kirk saying, "You think this won't get out? Watch." Fans went into meltdown mode. He threatened her. This isn't Love and Hip Hop anymore. This is true crime. Kirk is done. Meanwhile, Rasheeda posted her first message since the scandal broke. Just a simple Instagram story. Sometimes silence is the loudest revenge. Within an hour, she'd gained 400,000 new followers. The Frost brand, once built on their love, had turned into a symbol of betrayal, survival, and rebirth. But as much as fans rallied behind her, what came next would push even her most loyal supporters to tears. Because Rasheeda's emotional breakdown, caught live during a confessional taping, showed the kind of pain no reality show edit could ever script. When the footage of Kirk and Tasha's car argument hit the internet, it didn't just blow up social media, it detonated the entire hip-hop and entertainment industry. This wasn't just reality TV mess anymore. This was betrayal, deception, and humiliation being played out in 4K within hours. Every gossip outlet from the Shade Room to Hollywood Unlocked was posting their takes. Kirk Frost caught again. Rasheeda's tears break the internet. Even mainstream outlets like Billboard and Complex jumped in, calling it the most scandalous moment in love and hip-hop history. Fans flooded Twitter and Instagram, tagging Rasheeda with support and outrage. "Girl, you carried him for years. Let him drown now. Not Kirk cheating again. My 2017 trauma just came back." Memes started circulating immediately. Clips of Rasheeda crying from old seasons next to screenshots of the leaked texts. Hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag team, RASHEEDA, hashtag FrostFiles, hashtag CheaterChronicles.pay. The drama didn't stop with the fans. Inside the industry, celebrities started choosing sides. Spice went live and said, "Listen, Rasheeda is a queen. She's been too humble for too long. Kirk need to sit in that guilt." Carly Red commented under the viral post, "You can only play with fire for so long before it burns your whole brand." Unexpectedly, 50 Cent jumped into the mix, posting a meme of Kirk looking stressed with the caption, "Bro fighting demons." Bills and screenshots at the same time. Hashtag get the strap. Even Nicki Minaj threw shade, liking a fan post that read, "Imagine having Rasheeda Frost and still cheating. Some men just allergic to peace." Meanwhile, Kirk's reputation was free-falling. Frost Bistro, the couple's Atlanta restaurant, saw its Google reviews flooded with trolling comments. One user wrote, "Food's good, but don't bring your wife. Kirk might flirt with the waitress." Sponsors quietly began pulling back from their brand deals. A source close to the Frost family said, "No one wants to be associated with a brand collapsing in scandal." VH1, on the other hand, was watching the chaos with a mix of horror and opportunity. Ratings were skyrocketing. Clips of Rasheeda's breakdown hit a record 8.3 million views in 24 hours. Producers decided to accelerate the reunion episode to capture the frenzy. Mona Scott Young was allegedly on multiple calls trying to convince Rasheeda to film one-on-one interviews. But Rasheeda wasn't answering anyone, not producers, not castmates, not even Kirk. And while the internet was ripping Kirk apart, Mendices found himself in a strange position. Half the fans called him a hero for exposing the truth. The other half accused him of doing it for clout. "You can't play whistleblower when you're part of the circus," one fan wrote on X, but Mendices doubled down. In an Instagram story, he posted, "If telling the truth makes you the villain, I'll be that. At least I sleep good." But the wildest reactions came from within the hip-hop community itself. DJ Envy mentioned it on The Breakfast Club, saying, "You can't rebuild trust once it's been shattered that many times. If Rasheeda walks, she's doing what she should have done 5 seasons ago." Even Tamar Braxton chimed in during a podcast. "The thing about Kirk, he keeps saying he's sorry. But you can't apologize your way into loyalty." Behind closed doors, the cast was falling apart too. Rumors swirled that Scrappy had gotten into a heated argument with Kirk off camera, telling him, "Bro, you made all of us look bad." Bambi allegedly confronted Tasha, calling her desperate for storylines, and Yandi. She was reportedly trying to play peacemaker, but caught in the crossfire. As both sides blamed her for enabling Mendizes to blow things up in public, the entire Love and hip-hop family was split in half. Team Rasheeda called it karma, catching up to Kirk. Team Kirk whispered that Rasheeda loved the victim spotlight. Even fans were fighting in comment sections, writing essays about who was more toxic. It wasn't just entertainment anymore. It had become a cultural moment. Everyone was debating what loyalty, forgiveness, and fame really meant when cameras never stopped rolling. But while the noise got louder, one person stayed eerily quiet, Tasha. She deleted all her posts, turned off comments, and went silent for days. Then, one night, she went live, tears in her eyes, trembling, and said, "They're all lying. I wasn't the only one. He told me she already knew." That one line reignited everything. Who's she? Fans demanded. Was Rasheeda covering it up? Is there another woman? Screenshots started surfacing. Alleged DMIs. Audio clips. Conspiracy threads filled Reddit. Some fans claimed the other woman was actually a producer, someone who had worked with Kirk and Rasheeda for years. Others swore it was an ex-employee from Frost Bistro. By now, the scandal had become so massive that even TMZ's Harvey Levin commented, "We haven't seen reality TV cross this line between show and real life in years." Then, as if scripted by fate, Rasheeda broke her silence, not on camera, not on VH1, but on Instagram Live. Her voice was calm, low, heartbreak dripping from every syllable. "I've stayed quiet to protect a man who didn't protect me. I carried him through scandals, through rumors, through embarrassment. But this time, I'm done carrying. I deserve better." The live peaked at 1.6 million viewers, a record for any Love and hip-hop cast member. She didn't cry. She didn't curse. She just ended it with, "God gives peace after storms." So maybe this was my thunder. The internet exploded again, but this time, not with anger, with respect. Fans flooded her page with messages calling her the blueprint, the phoenix, and the queen who rose again. But just as the dust started to settle, another clip began circulating, unseen footage that hinted at something even darker behind Kirk's betrayal. Something that might change how fans see everything, just when everyone thought the story couldn't possibly get any darker. The final twist hit, and it didn't just shift the narrative. It rewrote the entire scandal from the ground up. 3 days after Rasheeda's now iconic Instagram Live, an anonymous page popped up on X under the handle @FrostFilesReal. The account posted one cryptic line: "You think you know who cheated, but you don't know who started it." At first, people ignored it. There are fake leak accounts every week. But then at 3:14 a.m., the account dropped a 40-second audio clip that changed everything. It was Kirk's voice, unmistakable. But he wasn't arguing. He was pleading. "Please, you said we'd keep it quiet. You promised me she wouldn't find out. If this gets out, we both lose." Then came a female voice, calm, confident, and chillingly familiar. "I'm not worried, baby. Remember who runs the show." Fans froze. That voice wasn't Tasha's. It wasn't Rasheeda's either. Within minutes, Reddit detectives, YouTube bloggers, and even fan podcasts started analyzing the audio, matching tone, pitch, and background noise. One theory spread like wildfire. The voice belonged to a senior love and hip-hop producer. If true, it meant Kirk hadn't just cheated with a cast member, he'd been involved with someone who worked on the show itself. Someone who had influence over how his and Rasheeda's storylines were portrayed. Suddenly, everything clicked for fans. The weird edits, the soft handling of Kirk's past scandals, the way Rasheeda's reactions were always shown as overly emotional. Was production protecting him all this time? Within hours, Mona Scott Young's name began trending, even though she had nothing to do with the audio. Fans were convinced the show had buried the truth to keep the ratings goldmine alive. One viral tweet read, "They made Rasheeda the faithful wife archetype while covering for Kirk's mess behind the scenes. That's not TV, that's manipulation." Then came another leak, this time from a crew member, who claimed they'd been forced to sign new NDAs. After the Frost fallout, they alleged that producers had deleted footage months ago, showing Kirk leaving a hotel with the same female. Producer now rumored to be his secret affair partner. It was chaos. The network issued a statement within hours. "We are aware of the alleged material circulating online regarding cast and crew members. These claims are currently under review. We take the integrity of our productions seriously." But the damage was irreversible. Inside sources revealed Rasheeda had quit the show. After over a decade, she was done. No goodbye party, no final confessional. She packed her things, cleared her dressing room, and left. According to one crew member, she told them before she walked out, "They can keep their storyline. I'm taking back my piece." Kirk, meanwhile, was reportedly dropped from multiple sponsorships within 24 hours of the audio leak. His management went silent. His restaurant lost half its staff. The Frost brand was crumbling in real time. But that's when the real kicker came. The final cliffhanger no one was prepared for. During what was supposed to be the reunion taping, production cameras caught Mendici stepping outside mid-break to take a phone call. He walked off set, pacing, whispering. When he came back, his face was pale. He sat down, looked straight into the camera, and said, "Y'all not ready for what's coming next season? I just found out something that's gonna flip this whole thing upside down. Let's just say Kirk ain't the only one who's been playing dirty." The producers froze. Mona reportedly shouted, "Cut." But it was too late. Someone leaked that clip to Dot, and just like that, the Frost scandal, the one that started with a few text messages and a broken vow, had morphed into something far bigger. A story about corruption, cover-ups, and power games behind the camera. Cover-ups and power games behind the camera. Rasheeda went quiet again. Kirk disappeared from social media entirely. VH1 scrubbed the reunion promo. But fans are already calling it the most anticipated comeback in love and hip-hop history, because everyone knows this story isn't over, not by a long shot. There are still receipts waiting to drop, deals waiting to break, and secrets waiting to destroy what's left of the Frost empire. And when it all comes out, the truth won't just end marriages. It'll expose the industry itself. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't just another love and hip-hop scandal. This is the kind of meltdown that changes reality TV forever. We've seen fights, we've seen cheating, but we've never seen an entire empire crumble this fast, this loud, and this publicly. From leaked texts to secret audio, from tears on camera to silence that screamed louder than words, the Kirk and Rasheeda saga has become the story everyone's talking about. But here's the thing, this isn't the end. Because every time you think the Frost drama is done, another layer peels back. Someone else talks. Another clip leaks. Another truth surfaces. And every time it gets wilder. So if you're sitting there thinking, "There's no way it can top this," trust me, it can, and it will. The reunion is coming, and insiders are already teasing that Rasheeda won't just show up. She's bringing receipts. Kirk's team is scrambling. Production's on lockdown. And Mendici's word is he's holding on to evidence that could burn the whole thing down. Don't blink. Don't look away. Hit that like button if you think Rasheeda deserves better. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you really on? team loyalty, or team exposure? And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because when the next round of chaos drops, you'll want to be here first, watching it all unfold in real time. Because in Atlanta, love ain't patient. It's public. It's messy, and it's about to get even hotter. Stay tuned, because this storm, it's far from over.